Welcome back to the Reap Your Roots YouTube channel. Today, I'm going to be spitting some facts, some fire, some shifts that I felt within me and something that I feel to offer to the world and to those who it may be of some benefit. To give you guys a little context, I'm talking about programs. I'm talking about one-on-one. Now, back in 2023, I had a huge pivot in my career. I separated from my business partners. I left. My old career was in coaching guys in sales, in emotional intelligence, in their belief systems. That's what sales is. And in entrepreneurship. And I had business partners. And I separated from all of that in 2023 because I felt a deeper calling to hit the nail more on the head with how I was coaching myself and others. And specifically, that nail was men's work, was more, not so much external wealth creation, entrepreneurship focused, but more so internal work and the inner world, the mind, the heart, emotions, thoughts, belief systems still. But yeah, I had this huge transition out of what used to be a career of 7 years into coaching, and I created these one-on-one programs. And I led a few people through at the end of 2023, entering 2024, and then I felt the need to just stop it all and to go, what you might have heard the term, to go monk mode, to go in, to invest in myself. I did programs, I did apprenticeships, I got certificates, I searched for my own benefit to help me progress in life, to help me become the man, the husband, the father, the person that I wanted to be. And also with this idea of everything that I was learning, transferring it into a lot of my programs and a lot of the stuff that I'm passionate about and that what I feel like is my dharma in life. So yeah, I did that for a year. 2024, most of 2025, just going inward, going monk mode. And now I feel I've had this spark of clarity just recently this week, which has caused this YouTube video, to create offers, create different types of programs that are specific to different pains that we face in life and people. And it's time. Before this, the only thing that I had was a online men's community, Deep Roots Brotherhood. And now these programs that I'm opening up, they're for men and women. And this video, I want to talk about the 3 different programs that there are available to all. Now, yeah, let's get right into it. My first program, Emotional Resilience Program. This is for the person that has thoughts that attack them, perhaps an inner critic, thoughts that cause a lot of stress, a lot of worry, a lot of sadness, a lot of depression, a lot of loneliness, the thought forms, or emotions and chronic moods and chronic attitudes that they just can't seem to shake and they can't seem to change. Thoughts, emotions, and belief systems. Belief systems is huge with this, and we touch on behaviors as well. So those 4, thoughts, emotions, belief systems, and behaviors. But really, it's a whole conscious, subconscious rewiring of these thoughts, emotions, belief systems to become a new you. It's emotional resilience. When we're resilient, we can take a lot, and it doesn't change our state. It doesn't change our way of being. We may feel sadness, joy, loss, all of these different emotions, or we may have these different thoughts that come in, but we are unshakable. We're resilient. And so this emotional resilience program is a lot to do with emotional regulation. It's a lot to do with building a new relationship with your mind, with your thoughts, and then releasing belief systems that don't serve you and updating the software, conscious and subconscious, 4 belief systems that do serve you, and then therefore behaviors. So if I were to sum up the emotional resilience program, it would be an immersion of self-mastery. 3 months. The first month we identify a lot of the thoughts, emotions, belief systems, the wounds, the core wounds. The second month we prescribe holistic prescriptions of movement, of breathing techniques, yoga, tai chi, qigong, all of these different experiences. So after we've identified the first month, we experience what works for you specifically. The second month, it's not just like this is it for everybody. Through identifying the first month, we have tailored to what you want, what you need, the change you are wanting to make, prescriptions and experiences. And then the third month is about solidifying. And there might be more that still comes up that is to be dealt with and to be processed and to be alchemized. But the third month is really setting in those protocols and those habits so that you don't need therapy for years. You don't need another program. What I love about somatic therapy, which is what I pull a lot of what I do comes from somatic therapy, is you don't need anybody else besides your body, besides your breath. It gives you actionable, practical things for you to solidify, stabilize the change, and to have this emotional resilience transformation so that you don't really need to outsource your power to a coach or a therapist or anybody else after that, because somatics it's all here. It's the body, it's the breath. So that's the first one, emotional resilience. If it resonates with you, comment, DM me. I'll send my email as well, so you can email me in the comments or in the description of this YouTube video. Second program is True Change, a 4-week integration of psychedelic journeys. Now we don't do any psychedelics. This is for if you have done psychedelics in the past, if you've had profound spiritual experiences like this with plant medicines, but you don't know how to really integrate it, right, into our day-to-day life, going to work, in our relationships. There's this issue today where we have the indigenous tradition, where these plant teachers come from, and these experiences and these frameworks and these shamanic arts that are so valued and need to be brought in. And then we also have these Westerners, right? Us, Western minds, Western world, coming in, experiencing this, and then going back to our worlds. And there's a big disconnect between what we experienced and how we actually live day to day. And so what I've done is deep dived with myself and with programs that I've taken, in-depth psychology, Jungian psychology. This is the work of archetypes, of shadow work, of dream psychology, all of this depth psychology, which makes sense to our Western mind and is a really good framework. And then also dove deep in the shamanic arts and shamanic ideologies, plant medicine. And it's this integration program is a blend of the two. It's depth psychology and it's the shamanic ways, and it's blending the two so that not only are we not losing the essence of where these traditions have so much wisdom, but we also are helping it cross that barrier, that cultural barrier and that just lifestyle barrier into how we live and where we are at and how our minds think, to integrate it into true change. Instead of just having these profound experiences and then having an afterglow for a few days, maybe a week or two, and then before we know it, we're back in the same place, thinking about ourselves the same, feeling about ourselves the same, thinking about God the same, and about others the same, feeling towards others the same. We're just back to the same old, same old. And it's not because, if you're relating to this and you felt this disconnect, it's not because you're not doing the work. You're doing nothing wrong. But it's because we just don't have the frameworks in our Western world, with our Western minds, to accurately integrate the psychedelic experiences. So that's what this program is. Now you can take one psychedelic journey that was really profound and we can work through it the 4 weeks, or you can take 4 different journeys that you've had or more. And we can work through those throughout the calls, the online calls, throughout the 4 weeks. And then besides the depth psychology, it's backed with somatic practices of the breath, of meditation, of visualization, of movement. All of these important somatic practices to really ground in the true change and to feel it, because I could go on forever about this. That's all I'm going to say. Actually, I'll say one more thing. Last thing, the reason why this is such a problem in today is because in indigenous tradition, in the tribes, you have a rite of passage with a sacred medicine. And then everyone in your community supports you. Everyone in your community expects you to be changed for the better, to be good. And you're around nature all of the time. So it's very easy to integrate the changes because a lot of it is connection to the natural world, God's creations, connection to God, quietness, stillness, presence. But when we come back into our world, we don't have any of that usually on the day-to-day. We actually have the polar opposite in Orthodox culture, Christianity and other religious culture, because instead of like you coming back to your family and then being like, oh, you have this profound change, we're gonna hold you to this, what'd you learn, how'd you grow, how are you gonna maintain that? We come back and we get projections of, oh, you're deceived, you're evil, you're doing drugs, and it's just the complete opposite. It's actually a lot more resistance to go through that change. And what I found is there's a lot of people that are alone, that have had profound spiritual experiences, but then lose that connection because they get back to their community, their family, and they either get outright confrontation and resistance, or they get silence and isolation. And so we're just left with our psyches to make sense of it all. This program is to make sense of it all, but then also to go through the inner transformation and do the inner work with daily practical habits, because doing medicine every day is not daily and not practical, but daily practical somatics and depth psychology to establish, maintain, and sustain that true change. All right, third video. Let me make sure it's still recording. Yep. We're good. I made sure because this is the second time I've filmed this. It stopped recording. So the third program is Break the Cycle. Break the Cycle, a detox of habits for men and women. I imagine that men will be more so for this program because what brought it about, first of all, was a lot of the work that I've done helping people overcome pornography, weed, and other substances, alcohol, social media, which everyone falls victim to, and that is the most potent drug on the earth, that social media and our phones, that messes up our dopamine receptors. Even self-sabotage and addictions in the form of emotions such as anger and outbursts, or stonewalling and becoming numb. So these are ways in which we self-sabotage as well, and they actually can be addictions. So Breaking the Cycle is a 6-week program in which we are breaking the cycle. We can focus on multiple things that you know are not serving you, that you want to release, that you want to detox from these bad habits, from these vices, or perhaps addictions. And then building, the first 3 weeks is the identifying, the releasing. The last 3 weeks is the replacing and the reclaiming of your power, where we are putting in natural forms of dopamine. We've done a lot of in the first 3 weeks, healing the wounds of addiction, because that's what addiction is. It's not about the substance. It's not about the pornography. It's about something in here, feeling some void, some gap. And so identifying those wounds, those gaps, those voids, and then learning how to self-source, self-soothe, and self-empower so that you're not seeking anything external or outside of you, and you're not self-sabotaging. building up that self-trust in yourself, and really coming into your power. This one is huge because it's pulling on as well IFS therapy, the depth psychology, the somatic therapy, where most of the system right now in the world is focusing on the substance, attacking the substance, and it's all good and it's all for truth and for good and for light. 12 steps is for good and for light. AA meetings, talk therapy, all of these different forms, accountability partner that you have when you're coming off an addiction or detoxing, all of these things are good. But why are you still relapsing? Why is there still this presence that's over you that either you're always tense and vigilant, like, oh, they're going to slip up, or you are slipping up repeatedly, even though you swore you're not going to yourself and to your spouse and to everybody else, even though you know you don't want that, and you're still in this cycle of self-sabotage. This break the cycle has been tested and proven, and I stand on the shoulder of giants. It's many things of which I've learned, and many of my own flavor as well in this program of breaking the cycle. So that's the third one, and that's who it is for, and that's what it looks like. So here's the three again. Remember, comment, DM me, Jake Daybell, or Reap Your Roots on any of my socials. Instagram is the most common one. Or email me, jake@reapyourroots.com. Just like it says in the channel, jake@reapyourroots.com. Email me which program resonates with you the hardest. There is first the Emotional Resilience Program. This is a 3-month program, and it's a whole person change, transformation, immersion of self-mastery. Second program is True Change, a psychedelic integration journey. You've had the journeys, now it's time for the integration. This is a 4-week, so 1 month, calls every week. And then the third one is Break the Cycle, a habit detox of bad habits, vices, addictions. And that one is a 6-week, month and a half program. All of these programs are specifically for online. They're not for in person, although they could be, but they're specifically for online through video calls, through daily texts and accountability, working through your issues. And then all of my content, all of the resources, all of the guidance. But really, you are the guide. You are the one who is in charge. You are the one who is investing in yourself, and you are the captain at the helm. These programs are just resources in which if there's any part of you feeling like, oh, I maybe would want that or could use that, could benefit from it, then just reach out to learn more. Email me, comment, program on this YouTube video, and yeah, I hope to see you. Much love, much love, and remember to keep smiling.